to stay alive here in the SEA Grand Finals. They have mixed things up here. The March Warlock does put KP into the offlane. They're going to get a fissure block onto MP. There's 4 Phoenix heroes here. They're looking for a first blood, and they're going to get it here. MP completely blocked in. Denied by Pugna. Oh, another Shadow Poison stack.
Straight in for this.
Nuts wants to kill one more poison. That's going to be a kill onto Nuts, I believe. Tick, 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 tick. Coming soon, not yet. Meanwhile, March getting low. Does say a lave against 4F here. Nuts just lingering around. He knows he's dead. Will go down to the Shadow Demon, who does not get.
This time though is he's actually just pulling the enemy creep camps over. And in terms of the laning phase, I still think this does favor MVP.Phoenix right now.
Well, this is going to turn things a bit more in HOT6's way if they can catch up Queen of Pain. And they will. The nighttime vision making it hard. Surely they can actually give up that T1 tower. I think ideal scenario is you just give it up, delay it as much as possible, but do not give up kills. And how are they even getting kills? Unless they get disruption into a Leshrac stun, that's really going to be avenue to finding kills.
Tower has fallen.
They get the tier 1 at top.
And KP in the front line doing big damage. MP forced back, does not want to fight into the Necro 3, but this Necro 3 could blow up on him. MP gets close to bringing it down, doesn't do so. He gets a double kill instead. Sonic Wave off to the side, does not get Sunbeam. The Scream will, but MP's there. Has a Lightning Storm as well as Pulse Nova, needs vision to use it. Q won't blink out, not in time. KP is marched forward, but this does not look like a fight he's going to win. He feeds away his life. Leshrac. Down Febby on the Earthshaker. We'll farm up the Necro books as well. That's some easy money going his way. Joy's blink forward, wants to finish off Jerix, will do so. Sunbeam not there in time. And now they want Queen of Pain. They want the punish, and it's so long. Get it. Oh man, a blink after on MP Leshrac. Phoenix heroes on the sidelines, and with that, it looks like mid lane of Rax going down as well. Warlock. Nothing really at his disposal. Now he's going to get purged up, disrupted. Couple poison sacks already, maybe a couple more coming soon. Purification is there, and that's a dead Warlock. Buyback from disrupted. All he can maybe do is try and find this kill on the Shadow Demon, but even that is not going to be easy to do. Will manage to get it. But meanwhile, Weaver just... Game 5, March had all the farm in the world on that Warlock, but in the end it just didn't even matter.
It just came down to MP, the way that he itemized, ignoring me and going for this wonder build, and it just felt he was unkillable. He did so much damage to all of these Warlock Golems. They had to take him down, but at the same time...
When they did, it's a 5-second respawn.
Yeah, exactly.
He snowballed way too hard. He had some 6 stuns as well. Another just kind of... No, he's just hitting these stuns without the initiations half the time. Yeah, they had the Shadow Demon, but it didn't feel like they needed the Shadow Demon.
Yeah, and Forever pops almost immediately, but he just comes in and the fight just ends off of that. And I mean, congratulations to both MVP teams who will both make it to the international. MVP.Phoenix's hopes aren't over yet, so that's the good news for them.
Yep, we're joined once again at the panel. K-pop and Purge. SEA is a wrap.
Egg Shadow Demon Craigasm.
Yep. Dude, Octarine Core Leshrac.
Oh, come on. We've seen that like every other
It's so good,
Can I have my one game on the qualifier?
It was good.
It was have your moment.
Where it was relevant. And this is why it was relevant. It applies
so
Break, which stops Bristleback ult. How many of those fights? Normally Bristle's like the tanky guy. You're like, yeah, go on me. I'll reflect all the damage. It's going to be great. But when you apply Break, his Bristleback stops working. And then Lesh hitting him on the back does full damage. And that's why he was dying so fast. And especially in that bot fight where they shredded the golems, it wasn't just about the golems dying fast. It was that Bristle lost so much fight, or so much HP in the first initial, that he couldn't also be there to help protect the golems and threaten Leshrac in return. So I honestly think the Eggs did a lot that game. Obviously Jerix was only able to farm it because he had insane space creation, insane amounts of kills and stuff, but it was a very important part of them being able to kill the Bristol with Soulcatcher as well. Soulcatcher boosting up your single target damage. So compared to last game where they had trouble dealing with the BKBs, it was no issue at all this game.
Yeah, it was really nice to see the Shadow Demon get a lot of... Didn't necessarily get farm priority, but all the kills he was able to make, we were able to get him there fast enough. And Sunbeam was playing an offlaner that wasn't going to farm a whole lot, didn't really take up a lot of space or kills from him, and so he was able to get to that point. So that was very interesting to see.
Jerix played that so crazy, though. Like, he was support Shadow Demon. He was just sitting in the enemy jungle. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to try to 5 poison stack the Queen of Pain. And he almost got it. He threw one through the jungle, didn't quite get it, and QO backed out. But if he would have landed that, it would have been just like the Earthshaker. He almost solo killed the enemy mid mid when all he had was like arcane boots and urn. It was incredible, and he just goes for those plays, and sometimes it doesn't work. He doesn't get KO, but then Earthshaker shows up and he's like, oh yeah, I'll get this, and 5 stacks, 1,000 magic damage, easy kill.
Yeah. So once again, congratulations. 2 teams from Korea out of SCA going to be in the international. That's fantastic. How much was that due to Zephyr's influence here? We have 2 Zephyr members here.
Honestly, I think it'd be really arrogant to say that we had any influence. I think these guys, we might have accelerated it by a little bit, but
for like 2 months.
Yeah, these guys are so motivated. They're individually talented. Once we got there, we all kind of were in agreement that these guys are going to be beasts. We're going to be beasts if they just had a little bit more time to improve. I think we gave them a little bit extra motivation, but the talent was always there. We knew that Forev was one of the most talented players in Korea. We knew that MP was also the same. We actually kind of theory crafted. We're like, well, maybe if you actually put those 2 players together, they could create some kind of all-star lineup, and then you could just kind of pick and choose the 5 players around them, and that's kind of what they did. Like, they got the 2 most talented players in Korea, in my opinion. They put them on the same team together, and they're getting results now.
Yeah, it's crazy how JerAx fits into that as well. It feels like having that slight different play style coming out from him, where it's a bit less. It's not disciplined. He's just crazy.
It's not structured at all.
He is the wild card on that team. He just goes off, does his thing, and I feel like that's the kind of player which just doesn't exist in some of these scenes, but he brings a lot to the table. I mean, not to take anything away from everyone else, but that to me was a really smart move from MVP to bring in this X-Factor player to the team.
And JerAx has been fantastic all throughout this qualifier. His Lina play, I would say, is some of the best support Lina play I've seen across any qualifier. He's just been doing an insane job so far.
Pretty much every game he becomes a core.
Yeah.
From a support perspective, from roaming,
and
which is godly. That's actually so good. I'm actually really impressed with him.
And that's one thing you don't think about of supports, but that's kind of the idea of what support's supposed to be, right? The idea that you can be as beneficial to your team as another hero without farm. And sometimes some supports try to play like, oh, I'm going to be careful and not contribute as much, just be safe. But the idea is that you want to be able to contribute as much as possible to winning the game, dealing damage without having those items. That's really what JerAx is doing. Like, he's playing almost like a core in some ways, just like, you know, without the items that normally a core would get. So really impressive play coming out of JerAx.
The rest of his team still plays very well also. I mean, Forev even got shut down a bit in the early game, but they transitioned the late very nicely. And I think MP is just really solid in the mid lane, very, very sound. His gank setups are very good. I feel like that's where he's the most crisp. Maybe he falls off a bit late game compared to players like QO, but I think his laning stage is just very consistent, and he always performs on it.
Yeah. So, C qualifiers as a whole, how did we feel how it went out? Did we think we had a pretty good? I feel like it was one of the more up in the air qualifiers as a whole. I wasn't really certain who was going to win. There were some inklings that maybe Rave was kind of on a downturn, and that TNC was kind of the team to watch in that.